I recently read the book Perennial Seller by author Ryan Holiday. A perennial seller is a product that sells long after its release date. The movie Shawshank Redemption is a perennial seller. It made $58 million in the box office, but it's been replayed so many times on TV that it's gone on to make an additional $100 million since it was in theaters, and it continues to pay minor actors in the movie $800 a month. The band, the Rolling Stones, are a perennial seller. They haven't made a #1 album in decades, but they still manage to sell out their concerts today. Author Ryan Holiday wrote a book in 2014 called The Obstacle is the Way. It only sold a few thousand copies when it was released, but the book now sells over 500 copies a week without any advertising. How is this possible? How is it possible to make something that stays valuable? The one thing that all these perennial products have in common, the one thing that allows them to sell year after year, is word of mouth. I remember hearing about Star Wars from a friend in elementary school, who learned about Star Wars from his dad. Star Wars had been out for almost 20 years by that time, but somehow people were still talking about it. Why? Ryan Holiday has studied hundreds of perennial sellers like Star Wars to understand why people keep talking about them years after their release. He's uncovered a few methods of making and marketing perennial products, methods that we can use to make videos that get viewed for years, to write articles that get shared for decades, and to build products that generate revenue long after their release date. Here are 3 methods you can use to maximize word of mouth and develop a perennial seller. First, make it timeless. Second, make it specific. And third, make it accessible. If you were to search on Amazon for author Guy Kawasaki, you would find 3 of his best-selling books: The Art of the Start, the time-tested, battle-hardened guide for anyone starting anything; Enchantment, the art of changing hearts, minds, and actions; and What the Plus, Google Plus for the rest of us. Which books do you think will keep selling 10 years from now? People will still be wondering how to start a business and how to persuade people many years from now. But how long will people still be struggling with Google Plus? Consider the perennial book How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's been out since the 1930s, but people are still referencing it. Why? It's because it does a very good job of addressing a timeless problem. People struggle with social anxiety today, just as they did in 1930, and will continue to struggle for the foreseeable future. Ryan Holiday based his book The Obstacle is the Way on a 2,000-year-old Stoic philosophy. If that philosophy has lasted until now, there's a good chance it will last another 2,000 years. The key is to focus on a topic or a problem that will remain relevant. Avoid technology, avoid the latest fad, avoid the latest trend. If you want to make a perennial seller, ask yourself, why will people still be talking about this 10 years from now? Pretend you went to New York City for the weekend, and you went to 2 great restaurants while you were there. Which restaurant experience do you think you're more likely to talk about with your friends? The niche restaurant that specializes in your favorite food, or the restaurant with the generic menu that seems to cater to a wide variety of people? I recently had this exact experience. I went to a specialty ramen noodle bar in New York City, and I also went to a generic American-style restaurant that had a wide-ranging menu. Both restaurants were great, but I found myself sharing the ramen noodle experience with friends and family and never talking about the generic American-style restaurant. The ramen noodle bar said something about my unique interests. It was also easier to explain to my friends because it clearly differentiated itself from other restaurants. That noodle bar risked being weird to many people, so that a few people would love it and be more likely to talk about it. Y Combinator founder Paul Graham, the man who helped launch Dropbox, Airbnb, and Reddit, says it's better to make a product that 100 people love than a product 1 million people just like. The initial goal of every perennial product is to acquire raving fans, people who identify with your product and feel as though it was made specifically for them, and share it with everyone they know. That way your product can grow organically over time, and you don't need to rely on advertising to keep your product alive. The most effective way to do this is to focus on making a product for a specific person. When author Tim Ferriss wrote the book The 4-Hour Workweek, he wrote the book for just 2 of his friends. He just wanted 2 of his friends to find the book extremely useful. It turned out that there were millions more people like those friends who found the book useful, loved it, and shared it with people they knew. I've incorporated this lesson into my work by asking myself one question as I edit my videos. Who specifically is going to love this? I imagine a specific person sitting in front of me as I edit and record my videos. This person is a friend of mine who seeks excellence in everything he does, and he's hungry to learn and improve, but he doesn't have enough time to read all the books he wants to read. By making my video for this specific person, I increase the chances that that person will love it and people like him will love it. The more they love it and find it useful, the more they'll be willing to share it. If you're on YouTube long enough, I'm sure you'll come across a TED Talk. The rise of TED Talks over the years has been pretty remarkable. TED Talks have gotten billions of views over the last decade. But do you think that would be possible if those videos weren't free? Because TED Talk videos are free, they're accessible to everyone, and people can easily share them with friends and colleagues. Those videos have been shared so much and viewed by so many people that the organizers of the TED conference can now charge $10,000 a ticket for people to attend. The ongoing success of Ryan Holiday's Obstacle is the Way is partially due to a period of time in which he marked down his price from $9.99 to $3.99 for an extended period of time. That low price allowed his book to spread and reach a critical mass of people. It's now back at $9.99 and it sells better than ever before. Amazon data shows that lower priced books sell more copies and actually make more money than books at higher price points. If you make something that's of very high quality and at a price that's shockingly cheap, or better, free, more people will be likely to share it, and more raving fans will find it. Sure, high price points and exclusivity work for some products, but when launching a perennial product, it's better to go cheaper. It's better to be underpaid than to be unheard of. I've incorporated this principle into my work by spending hours and hours making content that I then give away for free in the hopes that people will talk about it and continue to share it with their friends and colleagues. That way I can find new avenues to raving fans. In the end, perennial products keep selling because people keep talking about them. And people talk about them because they're based on a timeless topic or problem. They have a strong base of raving fans that tell everyone about them. And they're made easily accessible in the beginning by being a high-quality product that is either free or shockingly affordable. That was the core message that I gathered from Perennial Seller by Ryan Holiday. It includes many insights on making and marketing a perennial product. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'd be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a productive week.